Israel, a tiny country on the edge of a vast desert where history whispers from every hilltop and echoes in every valley. This is the land where prophets walked with God, where empires clashed, and where the three great monotheistic faiths, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, find their common roots.
To understand Israel today, we must first journey back in time to uncover the layers of its ancient past. Our journey begins thousands of years ago with the ancient Israelites. These nomadic people, led by figures like Abraham and Moses, laid the foundation for a new religious tradition.
They believed in one God, Yahweh, and forged a covenant with him, a promise for a homeland in the land of Canaan, which we know today as Israel.
Archaeological wonders dot the Israeli landscape, offering glimpses into this distant past. The ruins of Masada, a mountaintop fortress where Jewish rebels made their last stand against Roman legions, tell a story of courage and defiance. The ancient city of Jericho, with its layers of civilization dating back millennia, reveals a rich tapestry of human history.
These ancient echoes are not just relics of the past. They are woven into the fabric of modern Israel. The stories of the patriarchs, the exodus from Egypt, the wisdom of King Solomon, these narratives continue to resonate in the hearts and minds of Israelis today, shaping their identity and their worldview. And from these ancient beginnings, kingdoms rose and fell in the land of Israel. King David united the Israelites, establishing a powerful kingdom with Jerusalem as its capital. His son, Solomon, built the first temple, a magnificent structure that became the center of Jewish religious life.
But this golden age was not to last. Internal strife weakened the kingdom, and it eventually split into two: Israel in the north and Judah in the south. Both kingdoms faced constant threats from powerful neighbors, empires like the Assyrians, Babylonians, and Romans, who coveted the strategic importance of the land.
The conquests were often brutal. The Assyrians destroyed the northern kingdom of Israel in the 8th century BCE, scattering its people, the 10 lost tribes, into the mists of history. The Babylonians under Nebuchadnezzar II conquered Jerusalem in 586 BCE, destroying Solomon's temple and exiling the elite of Judean society to Babylon.
Yet even in exile, the Jewish people clung to their faith and their cultural identity. The prophet Ezekiel, speaking to the exiles in Babylon, offered words of hope and resilience. "I will seek the lost, and I will bring back the strayed. I will strengthen the weak, and I will heal the sick." These words would sustain the Jewish people through centuries of dispersion and hardship. The destruction of the Second Temple by the Romans in 70 CE marked the beginning of a long and painful exile for the Jewish people. Forced from their homeland, they scattered across the globe, from the shores of North Africa to the markets of Central Asia, from the bustling cities of Europe to the New World of the Americas. This dispersal, known as the diaspora, would profoundly shape Jewish history and identity. Throughout their long journey in exile, Jewish communities faced periods of tolerance and acceptance, but also waves of persecution and discrimination. They were expelled from countries, forced to live in segregated ghettos, and subjected to violence and pogroms. Yet they never forgot their ancestral homeland, and the dream of returning to Zion, the land of their forefathers, remained a flickering flame in their collective memory. This dream was kept alive through religious practice, cultural traditions, and the Hebrew language, which served as a unifying thread connecting Jewish communities across continents and centuries. The Passover Seder, a ritual meal commemorating the exodus from Egypt, became a powerful reminder of their history and their yearning for freedom and return. The diaspora experience, while marked by hardship, also fostered resilience, adaptability, and a strong sense of community among the Jewish people. It led to a flourishing of Jewish culture and intellectual thought in different parts of the world, enriching the societies in which they lived, while keeping their own traditions alive. On May 14, 1948, David Ben-Gurion, a fiery leader in the Zionist movement, declared the establishment of the State of Israel, fulfilling a dream 2 millennia in the making. The joy of this momentous occasion, however, was tempered by the outbreak of war with neighboring Arab states who rejected Israel's legitimacy. S3. Media, Arab-Israeli War 1948, Middle Eastern Conflict 1948, Soldiers during 1948 War, World War II and the horrors of the Holocaust, in which 6 million Jews were systematically murdered by Nazi Germany, added a sense of urgency to the Zionist cause. The world, witnessing the depths of human cruelty, recognized the need for a Jewish homeland as a haven from persecution. Narrator, Medea, Holocaust survivors, concentration camps liberation, Jewish refugees post-World War II. These pioneers, driven by a mix of idealism and desperation, faced immense challenges, harsh conditions, disease and hostility from some segments of the local Arab population. Yet they persevered, establishing agricultural settlements, building cities like Tel Aviv, and laying the groundwork for a modern state. S3. Media, building of Tel Aviv, 1940s early agricultural settlements in Israel, construction of Israeli cities. This movement, spearheaded by figures like Theodor Herzl, advocated for the establishment of a Jewish state in their ancient homeland, a place of refuge and self-determination. Fueled by this dream, Jewish immigration to Palestine, then under Ottoman rule, began to increase. Narrator. Media, Jewish immigrants arriving in Palestine, Jewish immigration to Palestine, early 1900s, Ottoman-controlled Palestine. Section 4. A dream realized, the birth of modern Israel. The 19th century witnessed the rise of nationalism across Europe, and among the Jewish people, a new movement took root: Zionism. Section 5. A land divided, the Arab-Israeli conflict. The birth of Israel was a watershed moment in the Middle East, but it also ignited a conflict that continues to cast a long shadow over the region. The 1948 Arab-Israeli War, which erupted immediately after Israel's declaration of independence, resulted in a decisive Israeli victory, but also led to the displacement of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians, creating a refugee crisis that remains unresolved to this day. This initial conflict was followed by a series of wars in 1956, 1967 and 1973, each adding new layers of complexity and bitterness to the conflict. The 1967 Six-Day War, in which Israel preemptively struck its Arab neighbors and captured significant territories, including the West Bank, Gaza Strip and Golan Heights, further altered the political landscape. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict in particular has become one of the most intractable conflicts in the world. Years of failed negotiations, waves of violence, and a deepening sense of mistrust have made a lasting peace seem elusive. The conflict has claimed countless lives on both sides, fueling cycles of violence and revenge. Despite these challenges, there have been glimmers of hope. The 1979 peace treaty between Israel and Egypt, brokered by US President Jimmy Carter, marked a historic breakthrough, demonstrating that peace between Israel and its Arab neighbors is possible.